Hello, Flosstube. My name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my Flosstube update number 174. Today is Saturday, August 7th. It's already August. Wow. And so this is the channel about cross stitch. I've got a couple of updates, some possible plans, and a little bit of haul. And so I'm gonna go get right into it. August 1st, I'm participating in cross stitch camp, and for those of you who might have questions about it, I've talked about this before. It's a virtual camp idea put on by Sherry Truax Berger, the Colorado cross stitcher, and you can find the group. There's a Facebook group for people who are participating in cross stitch camp. That is hashtag cross stitch camp. And then also you can follow Sherry at Colorado cross stitcher on Instagram, and that's where we post the before and after our finishing pictures. And speaking of finishing, for each month, June, July, and August, we've had monthly challenges. In June, it was a let me think. A new new to you. Hang on a second, I have it written down here. I thought. There were 3 different ones and I keep getting them mixed up. So yeah, the June challenge was something inspired by someone else. So something you saw on Flosstube, saw somebody else doing it. However, you were inspired to do design. July was a new to you designer, and August was new to you fiber or floss. So fabric or fiber. Blech. You know what I mean? A new to you fabric or floss. So anyway, I did the June challenge, the July challenge, and so for August, I was the only thing I really haven't done before was silks. I've used DMC, Weeks Dye Works, Classic Colorworks, Gentle Arts, but I've used Ada, Linen, Even Weave, Monaco, Lugana, whatever. I know that like for the Monaco, Lugana, Joblin kind of things, they have to do with differences in percentages, like whether there's a little bit of polyester, whether they're 100% cotton or linen or whatever. So linens are 100% linen. There are various percentages of cotton, 100% cotton polyester mixtures, whatever. Anyway, so for my August project, I had never used silks before, and although I had used this, excuse me 1 second. Sorry, dropped something. I used this particular fabric before, but not this particular color of that fabric. Anyway, so I, as my new to me fiber, I use silks. This 32 count Murano Carré, they sell it at Hobby Lobby under their Artiste brand. It's a Swagart fabric, but Murano Carré, it's 52% cotton, 48% modal. I don't know what that is, but so this is 32 count, and it's not a very big piece, 11.5 by 18. But it's a fine fabric. But the design I decided to do is called Rabbit Rabbit, and this one says January. This is by Ink Circles. There is a chart for every month of the year. So far, they are available through September, and I imagine the October, November, and December charts are probably going to be released at the end of August for the virtual needlework expo thing. They had one in the spring since Nashville was canceled. They had a needlework expo, a virtual expo in March, and there's going to be another one in November. And I imagine that's the last 3 charts will be released at that point, if not before. So anyway, these are charted in Gloriana silks, and I'd never used silk before. And since this one only has 2 colors, this whitewash and acorns, I decided this was the perfect way to get my feet wet in there. And then after buying the silks for that one design, I decided to go ahead and, because I want to do all 12 of these designs, I decided to go ahead and buy the silks for the designs. Anyway, so I want to go ahead and show that before I talk about it some more. I already finished it. So this is the January Rabbit Rabbit. And I did it the model is stitched on Shale, colorway Shale, by Picture This Plus. This one is done on the Murano Carré in the colorway Spa. This blue fabric, yeah, it's 32 count Spa. Now the model calls for 1 ply of silk over 2 threads of linen on 36 count. And I debated. I was originally gonna stitch 2 over 2. I usually stitch 2 threads over 2 on 28 count or 14 count. And so that was my original plan. But then, you know, in reading the instructions about the model or whatever, it's 1 over 2 on 36 count. And so I decided I tried 2 over 2 on this count, and it looked a little bulky, but I went ahead and did 1 thread over 2, and I like the way it turned out. I did watch a couple of tutorials about working with silks because I'd never done it before. I knew that a lot of people have talked about like, you know, you want to use lotion, and, you know, so that your hands are nice and smooth. You don't want to snag the linen. One thing I was trying to find out, because, you know, I'd never used silks before, is that, you know, like this silk is 12 ply. You know, regular DMC that people are used to using, or and other things like Week Styleworks, Color and Cotton, or whatever it's called. Color and Cotton, Gentle Arts, those are typically 6 ply, and you know, can use 1 or 2 threads. right? Depending on what, how you prefer to stitch. But these are 12 ply. So each skein is made up of 12 strands. So you can, one strand, you double it over, whatever. And I wasn't sure if these were variegated because they don't look strongly variegated, but there's a little bit of variegation, I think, in them. You can see it more in the brown than in the white. You can see a little bit of difference, light. This is lighter and this is darker or whatever. So you see a little bit more in there than you do in the white. The white doesn't look. If it's variegated, it's very lightly variegated, and the same thing with the brown. And I was looking at the other Gloriana colors, and if they're variegated, again, they're very lightly variegated, if at all. So, but just to be on the safe side, I used 1 ply of thread, and I did 1 X at a time. Ordinarily, I'm I guess Danish method, out and back stitcher. But for these, as 1 X at a time. And one mistake I made, and I, in the tutorials, it warned against it, and I just sort of ignored it, and I cut the length too long. Well, and part of it was that I was thinking of that I was going to be, doing the loop method, doubling it over and everything, and then I changed my mind, but I didn't change my thread length, and so I had very long lengths, and that was kind of a little bit of an issue. So when I did the brown, I cut it. Typically, what I do in when I'm using weeks, for instance, is take the skein and cut it in half, and then take those 2 halves and cut those in half, or and then I have a long length and whatever. But so for these, when I got to the brown, I cut it in half again, so they're a little bit shorter length. And then I went ahead and did the same thing with the white, because it's used in some of the other colors or whatever. So, also on the Ink Circles site, if you go to inkcircles.com, there is some sheet pages there. If you go to the Rabbit pages on Ink Circles on their website, there's a DMC and a Weeks Dye Works conversion. So these are the Gloriana silks, and then you can, if you don't want to do silks, you can do it in DMC or Weeks Dye Works. And then this tells you like what skeins are required for each month, and then like how many stitches are in each one, whatever. So whether you need 2 or 1 or 2 skeins. The only one that's used really a lot is the what do you call it? Well, the winter white is used a lot, and the other one is coffee bean, that are used quite a bit in more than one design. But otherwise, you could probably get away with buying just one of each color or whatever. Anyway. So one of the other things, like they're talking about using lotion or whatever, this gloves in a bottle, this one is pretty well squished. It's almost gone. I have another bottle that I bought of it. And this one I bought at Tempe Yarn and Fiber. My sister said it's also available at CVS. It's a little bit expensive, but it works really, really well. And another thing I bought once upon a time at the attic is this Stitcher's lotion. This one, it happens to be raspberry and orange, um, but I bought this at the attic. It also works well. The gloves in a bottle, like it apparently is unscented, and it just disappears into your hands really well. It's not greasy at all. So I highly recommend that. But anyway, so like I said, I finished my August project already. Oops, sorry. One more time. January, rabbit. Sorry about the light. The sun is coming in the window now. Anyway, so there's that. Look at those cute bunnies. It's so cute. January, rabbit. Okay. So enough about that. You're probably bored to death by now. If you have any questions about that, those charts, let me know. So what to do next? So I have the rest of August sort of looming ahead of me. As far as cross stitch camp goes, I'm done with the challenge. I've been stitching a few other random things. Last week, I had kind of got a little bit of wild hair and started the Owl Forest, one of my Owl Forest kits. I bought 3 Owl Forest kits some time ago, and they had been languishing in my closet for a while, and so I just got the urge to start one of them. I have 2 smaller kits and 1 larger one. So I started one of the smaller ones, the Elephant and Pug, from their little Fable series. So I'll probably work on that some more. Now that I finished my challenge piece already. And I have a few things I want to FFO. Now I have no more excuses because I found the trim that I want to use. I had talked about the pea pod color of fabric that came in the mail finally. It was back ordered for a while, and it came in, and I decided that I wanted to use that. And I had been looking for some trim, and the trim that I have one Lady Dot creates chenille trim called Mossy, but it was a little more on the sort of gray green, like moss color. And I had some velveteen yarn, but it also was a little on the olivey grayish side, and I wanted something a little more green. And I had some what's called eyelash yarn that I bought a few weeks ago for the owl, tribal owl finish that I did, but it was a little too hairy. So, but I wanted something along those lines color-wise, but something more like the velveteen yarn texture-wise. So I found this. This is by Yarn Bee. Let me get away from the glare here. Yarn Bee. Velvety Smooth Sparkle. So it has this little sparkle in it. And the colorway is olive. And so I like this. I think it'll match go with the grass a little better, a little darker. I was looking for this color, and they had some yarn there that was very thick. And some that was, of course, regular yarn that was a little on the thin side. But this is nice and velvety and thickish, but not too thick. And should work very well. So, yeah, now I have no more excuses. I have to sit down and do that. So I got that. So I want to work on FFOing that's for that blessed chart, and I am planning on getting that on the Etsy site now. So you'll see. So and the other thing then is um, the so the cross stitch camp, of course, goes through the end of August, the end of the summer, basically, and people were sort of wanting, to kind of keep going some kind of version of camp, for the fall or whatever. And I think there's going to be Sherry Berger was talking about there's going to be a sort of a winter version of camp or whatever. But in the meantime, I guess some people were talking about doing something, like sampler September. And but she said, like some people don't typically do samplers necessarily, and so her idea is, and sort of, kind of keeping it going, I guess, doing a show stopper September. So a chart that you think would be a showstopper. And I don't know if there are details about whether, like, you have to wait until September 1st to start it or whatever. But I had two charts that I was thinking of would be what I would consider showstopper charts. Hold on one second. I'm gonna put that there. Sorry. And so at first I thought about my other my larger of the Owl Forest kits. This one, which is I think it's, well, this is all in Russian, but I think it's like whale, monster wonder whale is what it's called. So this whale with a village on his back, and there's some ships and fish. Very cute. Yeah. So there's this. And it's a kit, so it has fabric, a needle, the yarns, a needle minder even, So, yeah. But also, I've had in my stash for a while now, this chart. It was very popular for a while. Everybody was stitching it, and I liked it, but it's one of those, I was like, I didn't want to pull the trigger on it yet. And then somebody else, another person was stitching it, and they were talking about, it's got a big deer on it. And they were talking about how, like stitching this deer forever. And looking at it, I thought, I really want that after all. And I went ahead and purchased it. But the chart has been sitting in my stash for some time. This is And Heaven and Nature Sing. And Heaven and Nature Sing by Kathy Barrick. Look at that big deer. And there's birds and trees and all kinds of stuff. Very pretty. So this is very large, and I think the Owl Forest one is pretty large too. This Owl Forest design is, let me see here. 189 by 111. This one. And this one, And Heaven and Nature Sing, is 186 by 153. So it's a big puppy. But I think this is the one I want to do. This deer, kind of goes on forever. But it's so pretty. It's so pretty. So I'm going to be very torn. but I think I'm going to do And Heaven and Nature Sing because I've had it forever. Now, it does give you different dimensions for different things like 14 or 28 count, 16 or 32 count, 18 or 36 count, and it even has an option of 20 or 40 or 40 count. Yeah, so I haven't decided yet. On 40 count, it's about a little bit bigger than 9x7. And if you're using 28 count, it's a little bit bigger than 13x10. So either way, it's, whatever size, it'll be pretty big. And it's, I think, is it 1/2? Well, it's charted in needlepoint silk, 1/2. If I do it on something small, I will probably do 1/2. But I probably won't do needlepoint silks for this big a design. There is a DMC conversion, so I'll probably do that. I don't know, but yeah. So, so there's that. So, so it looks like I'll probably be doing that in September. I don't have any Christmas patterns typically picked out to give away like as Christmas gifts, or and I don't know if I'm planning on doing anything like that, giving gifts for cross stitch kind of gifts for Christmas. Right now, this time of year, I'm typically thinking in terms of stitching for other people for Christmas, and I don't know if I'm going to do that so much. But that's still a possibility. Right now, I'm looking to, I'm stitching things basically for me, and I have a lot of irons in the fire. I probably have a lot of whips, probably 20 something whips right now. So yeah. And so I want to add to it again by starting something new in September. I don't know. So anyway, those are my plans, my upcoming plans. Stitching something else, something new, something more. And the other thing, so I'm gonna go into haul basically. I think. Oh, one other thing. So I think last week I talked about some old patterns that I am thinking of destashing one way or another, and I had thought about doing giveaways, or something like that, and I might still do a giveaway on the channel that I share with my sisters, the Three Sisters Creative channel. But what I was thinking of is that that I will probably, I have not looked into the de-stash sites or whatever. I might look into that for these lavender and lace charts that I have. But I think that I will probably sell the other products for the cost of shipping, basically. Because it's going to cost me to ship them anyway, right? These are not product charts that I could, like, fold up you know, and ship in a business envelope like you can a pattern in a magazine or whatever. These are like, you know, Leisure Arts leaflets. This one says $4.50. I don't know what it would cost to ship it. This one is a Disney booklet. Has several designs in it. 25 designs, it says. So I don't even know how much this would cost, but you know, it's kind of heavy. It's kind of thick. So I'm thinking that I'll probably look into maybe what they would cost shipping wise, and sell them just for the cost of the shipping. They're older charts. They're not like, you know, something that's really hot and really in demand nowadays. And then the one that I was thinking of giving away is, again, this kit that I started. I just did like maybe not even all necessarily all of the one color, but just part of the one color. And I think I misspoke last time. I said it was stitched into this shape. It's not. It's a like a long rectangle. The sides here, if I can, this glare is really bad. You can see this little tape kind of thing on the sides. So the sides are done that way all the way down, and you would, and I guess when you're finished stitching it, you would sew the point here, and then it comes with this metal hanger thing, and there's instructions, you know, how to sew the point and how to sew like a little thing to hang, you know, pocket basically for the hanger. Anyway, so this kit would probably, I probably would give away because it's partially stitched. So again, I don't have that set up, but I intend to set that up. And so I had mentioned some of the stitches. So I like, you know, I thought, I know there's more than that. So these didn't, I had set them aside because they didn't fit in the page protector things that I was doing for all my other charts. And then I went through and pulled the ones that I decided I no longer wanted, you know, because my tastes have changed over the years, and so whatever. So I have this, like I said, this Disney thing, designs. This is actually was my younger sister's, and she gave it to me, and you know, a bunch of other things. And this one, these cat designs, just perfect. There's several cat designs. The 3 lavender and lace ones, I think I mentioned them last week. These, you know. I also have found this. Now this is not just cross stitch. There's there's lots of different projects, home decor, gifts, and fashion. You know, it's like I said, it's a little bit, you know, because it's older stuff, you know. But then also, these little leaflets, these are Leisure Arts leaflets. There's 2 in this little series, Peach Iris and Blue Iris. Those 2. And more cats, and more cats, and more cats. And this Noel and this Teresa Wentler Castle sampler. Now, talk about a showstopper for September. That would be a showstopper. It's basically full coverage and lots of specialty stitches and blended threads and like that. I think calls for like a bazillion threads. Yeah, that's the thread, basically thread list. Blended threads, you know, those bracketed things are blended, you know, one thread of one of this color and one thread of that color. Yeah. So, really nice, but yeah, I'm never going to stitch that. It's just, yeah, really pretty, really nice stuff, but, you know, I'm trying to sort of, even that, you know, and Heaven and Nature Sings, that's you know, typical of the change, the shift in what I like. Although I like the cat ones, um, they're a little, they're kind of a cross between realistic and cartoonish, and uh, I think I like the, you know, something like this. There's a, you know, if there's a difference between this and say like those, you know, cat personality charts, and I can't describe it. I just know what I like when I see it, you know. So yeah, and you know, and a lot of times I look at those older charts and I think, well, I like this one or I like this one, but I don't know that I like, you know, the whole chart or whatever. So. And one other thing I got was this. My dad, you know, gets calendar things, you know, in the mail. He is an Army veteran. He was not in the Air Force, but he gets this. This is from the Paralyzed Veterans of America United States Warbirds calendar, and it, you know, he gets stuff like that in the mail all the time. And this one has stickers for, like, you know, if you have doctor's appointments or whatever. But there's birthdays, vacations, anniversaries, and then there's some stars. So I don't know. I talked to my sister about, you know, possibly using it, the calendar as a way of keeping track of my project, whatever. And I tried that. I've tried that before, and sort of, you know, I'll be really good at it for a while and then kind of, you know, poop out. I did that, I think, at the beginning of this year. I was writing things down, and then, like, after a while I stopped writing them down. I'm, you know, and I'm not a very good journal keeper, diary keeper, or anything like that. Because again, you know, I'm kind of lazy. Well, as a matter of fact, I had thought I would do the common threaded stitcher series of questions for the month of August, and I did like maybe the first two, and then just got lazy about, like, you know, because I mean, because it's on Instagram, a lot of it is like, you know, hauling out like your pattern stash and taking a picture of it, or how you store stuff or whatever. And it's like, okay, yeah, I want to do that, but, you know, but I'm like, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. And then, you know, and then I don't do it. So I don't know. You might get a flurry of pictures from me for a common threaded stitcher. I don't know. So anyway, so that's all my sort of planned-ish things, and I have a little bit of haul. So I showed you the yarn that I got at Hobby Lobby, and another thing I got at Hobby Lobby was this even weave. It's 28 count even weave. It's a large package. This is 30 by 36, and I you know, I may have had. I have some larger, you know, pieces, but this is, again, a large 28 count even weave, and I might use it for that and Heaven and Nature Sing. I have to, you know, calculate the sizes and all that kind of stuff. But so I also just like picked up a bunch of things, you know, charms and beads and things at Hobby Lobby while I was there. So I think I talked before about some beads like this for Christmas. So I went ahead and got another strand, but these are like, just cube beads that are Christmas colors, red, green, and white. And I think I showed a pin like this that I made into a needle minder before, and I bought one last time I went to Hobby Lobby, and I bought another one this last time I was there this time. And one thing I bought another one of is this little, it's not little, it's big, cicada. I had bought one as kind of a jokingly, and I made a scissor fob out of it, and somebody snatched it right up like within a day. It was gone. So I got another one. So yeah, and I have some red and black beads, I think, that I used on it, but just in case I got some more. These are not the same red ones that I had. I think the red ones I have are smaller, but I just got some more just in case. I don't know what I have, and I have some reddish earth color nugget things that I used. So I'll probably do more of that. And then I also saw this little charm, and that caught my eye, as well as, let me see here, these little snowflakes, and these dice. So we'll see what those turn out to be. Oh, and this is camper, but it's kind of, yeah, there's a flag and looks like a sun charm in there. So yeah, that's kind of fun. And then these are labeled as buttons, but let's see how. So there's some Christmas lights, and I don't really have any specific plans for, but they're, Mr. or Mrs. Claus and reindeer buttons. These are like shank buttons. And the other thing I got, and again, I don't have any immediate plans for these, but they're I think would make good finishing things for Christmas projects, are these little Christmas gnomes and this Rudolph and holly berries. And I think these are like, I don't know if they're fabric, it looks like, and then have like some kind of adhesive, you could put them on say if you had a framed piece or whatever and you wanted to decorate it, And the same thing with these. These are wooden Christmas gnomes. Santa is here, Happy Holidays, and Merry Christmas are the sayings on them. These little Christmas gnomes. So yeah, and again, they're wooden, but with I think a sticky thing on the back, so you could stick them on theoretically, you could stick them on a present or a craft or whatever. Yeah, so I went ahead and got those. So that's all I had in the way of haul, and like I said, I've already finished my camp piece for August, so I'll probably try to finish that elephant and pug owl forest kit that I had last week, or the week before last week, I guess, that I was working on, and then try to FFO some stuff, and we'll see. And then, like I said, something for September. So I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about. Oh, just a little bit of a life update. My sister Naomi and I um, both play the bassoon. It's a bizarre family affliction. Uh, in our family, we all one of the getting to know you questions that Sherry Berger posted in the cross stitch camp Facebook group. She's posting about once a week some getting to know you questions, and one of the question that she posted recently was, do you play an instrument? What instruments do you play? Do you play an instrument? And so I answered that in some detail. I in our family, we all took piano lessons to one degree or another, and we were all in band to one degree or another. We were all in band and marching band, all through high school, and and I went ahead and majored in music, and so did my younger sister. Um, uh, and so I played. I started on clarinet in band in ninth grade, and then switched to bassoon in eighth grade, and um, graduated from college with a degree in music, and went on to graduate school and studied music there as well, and joined the Arkansas Symphony, uh, and played there for 25 years as a professional musician, orchestral musician. So, but then I developed an acoustic neuroma, and little by little lost the hearing in my right ear, and so by 2015, I retired from the symphony. The last concert I played with them was the 4th of July concert we did in 2015. And so I moved out here to Phoenix in October. And my plan at the time was to, get a full-time job or something here, and then look into playing in one of the amateur groups in this area. My brother-in-law plays with the Chandler Symphony. It's an amateur group here. And so I had thought about, maybe getting my foot in the door there, but I wanted to get a full-time job, get myself established here first, and then look into playing somewhere. Well, that didn't happen, because I had been out here only about 8 months, and was, at that time, I didn't know it, but I was developing hydrocephalus, and ended up having brain surgery in June of 2016, and I had a little bit of stroke while I was undergoing that surgery, because my tumor was sort of involved with the blood vessel, so I had a little bit of a bleed during the surgery, and it affected my right hand and right leg, and the right side of my body. So that's why I have a little bit of trouble speaking sometimes. But also, it affected my ability to type. I used to be, 65-ish words per minute. I could touch type. I could carry on a conversation and type at the same time, And now I'm sort of a little bit of a hunt typist, because my right hand typically doesn't reach the right keys on the keyboard, and it affected my ability to play. So that like in reaching for keys, whatever, sometimes I'll fall off the keys, sometimes my hand isn't. It's just not as dexterous, and things aren't as immediate as they used to be. So I didn't play really from 4th of July 2015. I had a few lessons that I taught, that summer, but so July-ish 2015, all through 2016. And in 2017, I decided I would try to play again, and was just starting back, on my horn, and I ended up burning myself. So I really couldn't play while I was recovering from the burn. I ended up having a skin graft and all that kind of thing. So I haven't touched my horn in a while, right? And so now it's 2021, and I hadn't touched my bassoon, but my sister talked to me about possibly playing with the Mesa Community Orchestra. She had done that in the past. This, I guess, year before last, before COVID. So I had gone to hear her play with them a couple of times, and I really kind of missed playing in orchestra. So she asked me if I would be willing to try to play with them this season. So yeah, I'm going to do that, I think. So to that end, she and I have had a little practice session, and we kind of did okay. I actually did better than I thought I would do. I'm a little out of shape in terms of my stamina, and again, like I can feel the deficit in my right hand, and but also I found that ways that I could sort of combat that and work at that, and so I'm feeling a little encouraged in that area, and so she and I just have to try to stick to some kind of maybe not necessarily a regular schedule, but some kind of scheduled practicing, so that we can both be in shape and be ready for the start of that, which will be in the end of October. Excuse me, the end of August. Sorry, the 24th-ish of August. So we're hoping, she and I are hoping to be able to do that. So that's coming up. That's something that that I'm sort of both looking forward to and kind of dreading, because like I said, I'm not in the best of shape, and I'm a little wary of being able to play in the typical orchestral fashion. But I think playing with Naomi, with my sister Naomi, I think will go a long way in sort of keeping me encouraged to play and to practice. And so anyway, that's a bonus little life update. So I think I've talked long enough, and let me know what you think in terms of destashing those charts. If you have any opinion on that. And I think that's it. And I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.